The last few days have been so overwhelming. I've had such a bad migraine. I had 3 days of a silent migraine, and then I had 2 days with a full-blown migraine. Specifically, it moved over to my right side, so like my right side of my forehead and my eyebrow, part of like it, even like my ear. Lack of like my digestion was also like I didn't have an appetite. I've just had very, very draining last few days. And it's all hormonal. Um, this is something that every month varies for me, but this month was one of the real tough ones for me because I was just, I mean, you can probably even tell I don't even have like the same energy because it's taken a lot of me. Like, I don't even know. Oh no, my God. I just got visited by a hummingbird. I'm gonna get emotional about it because I love hummingbirds, and there's a hummingbird. And they're very rare to see here, so I'm just surprised that there's a hummingbird. I mean, that could be my emotions um from my hormones. I don't know, but I just thought that was very, very synchronistic. So I've had like a lot of issues with like I'm on my cycle, and I think that now once the days go I should stabilize, like my body should stabilize. But it's been a very rough last 5 days. I didn't even know if I was going to be able to film today because I felt so still have like brain fog, and I felt so no energy, and my head still bothers, and I have indigestion, and I just don't feel right, but I still showed up because I love creating content. I love sitting and talking. Um I just love doing this. And this has become something that for me is become a full time. And I don't view it as this is not a job. This for me is my outlet of transformation. Um but I also see it as the window. I see it as a window for every time that I publish a video. That is a window of opportunity for me. I don't know where that video might take me. I don't, every video is like a doorway. And I think I said that in my other video. Every video for me is like I'm opening a little door in the universe, and I'm just showing up, and I'm like, hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm here. And it's like I'm signaling the universe, that I am opening up, and I'm showing my vulnerability. I'm fully authentic. I'm not scripting anything. I'm just speaking through my pure consciousness, my emotions, my state of being, my story. And I want to what I want to kind of touch on today is that if you feel a calling, right? You feel a calling to do something, do it. Um if YouTube is a calling for you, follow, do it. Don't procrastinate and don't hold back. And another thing that I want to also touch on is when you start to change your life and you start to transform in some way, the people around you, the people around you are going to see that you are beginning to take steps that maybe they were afraid to take, or that they maybe wanted to take and they couldn't take. So there's this whole thing, right, that happens when you start to change. There's going to be a thing you're going to notice of people around you that are also going to you're going to start to realize things, and you're going to see people from a different perspective too, because everything starts shifting when you start to change, and when things start to actually transform in real time. you know, what happened with this channel was very unexpected. Like I've said, it was very surprising. I remember that within my second week, I had gotten reached out by a brand, and I was so overwhelmed and in awe and excited, but I was so scared, like so scared, because all of these things, believe it or not, can change your life. All of the little opportunities that come to you can change your life, and you have to kind of know how to navigate it. And when people around you see that there are little doors of opportunity that are showing up to you because you have shown up, then there's going to be, like, you have to realize, like, when you shift, the people around you are going to also want to shift. Sorry, I moved the table. They're going to want to shift. They're going to want to follow the lead. And then you have to keep and remain yourself in your integrity, in your authenticity, in your anchoredness of who you are, and keep showing up for you with your voice. Okay? Your voice. And open up. Open up yourself to your realness, okay? Because our bodies, we are polarity, okay? We are polarity, and we carry both energies, okay? We carry the feminine and the masculine energy. We are both energies, because that's how we're able to move through life, having both aspects. And we are not just an aspect of that, but we are also an aspect of everything around us, okay? There's an aspect of, like, you can literally place your consciousness where you want it to place it, and you can feel and move through that. So when you place your consciousness into a moment of, like, stillness and kind of step out of your body and become just aware of nothing, that allows you to be more open into receiving information and knowing yourself even more, and finding more power and trust of showing up as yourself. And that is something that I know is very hard for everyone, okay? I know that it's very hard for everyone. I've had so many of you tell me that you want to change your life, that you want to shift your life, that you want, that you want possibility, that you want another environment, that you want to live a life that you deserve, that you want to experience things, and all of these things are accessible and available to you, all of them. And you might say, hey, you're saying this from the same place it's been over a month and a half, and you're still in the same place with your parents that are toxic. But you have to understand, the reality is not that it's easy, just go. I don't have, like I said before, I don't have financial means to leave. Okay, I don't have the money to leave. I first have to pay all of my debt before I go anywhere. Okay, that's like the number one thing. And then once I have all that paid off, I'm able to then save to move out. And I even think that by the time that happens, which I don't think it's gonna, be a year of that. I think I can probably, hopefully, believe in myself so much that that this can happen for me within the next 6 to 8 months. That's really what I want to believe, and I believe in. And I think that because since it's so expensive to move in Florida, like to move here, we are now like the number one state in the country that is the most expensive state to live in. And mind you, the minimum wage here is, you cannot live in Florida. You can't. Florida is a tourism state. It's not a state to live in. And I think that my best option would be to end up moving out of the state. It would probably cost me the same or maybe even less to leave the state. But that is something that I have to really think about and plan, because of my dogs, and especially my 14-year-old Yorkie and my other Yorkie, who's very nervous, and also my poodle is extremely nervous. So that's something that I have to think about. But I know that that option is there for me, and I'm working my way through to that point, because I want to live in a place that I want to be, you know, that I want it. Like I said before, I want to experience the seasons. I want to experience, like, we have no seasons in Florida. It's summer all year long. And I was, I was raised until I was 11 in Jersey, and I was able to see like the different seasons, and I loved the different seasons. So that is something that I want to go back to, and I want to experience, and I want to do. And that is my plan for 6 to 8 months of where I want to be. And it will be leaving Florida. But like I said, I have to first pay my bills, like pay what I owe. I owe a lot of money. I am in debt, because I have mentioned before that just because I live in my parents' house, it does not mean um, that they pay my stuff. Like, I pay my bills, I pay my stuff. And many times I pay like the stuff that I'm gonna eat for like the week, or the weekend, or the month. So um that's like the bulk of it. But because that's where I am right now. I'm just, I am testing and seeing how things unfold for me, as the more that I keep showing up, the more that I keep um yeah, the more that I keep allowing myself to be seen. Because this is not something that is very easy to do. Okay, I'm gonna first let you guys know it's not something that is easy to do. Showing up, being vulnerable, and releasing your wounds and your scars, and allowing yourself to be, because that's like the main important thing that I was talking about, that I'm sorry I lost track of because of my brain fog. But being able to show up, be seen, and flowing within both energies of your femininity and your masculinity, because we both carry it. The emotional side is the feminine side, and the more act and do is the masculine, and the more, yeah, it's like we both work through both. Sometimes it could be a little too much on one side or too much on the other, but if we keep a balance, we're able to navigate life a little easier. But when it comes to showing up and being authentic, and thinking of all of the things that can come from that, because you can find that maybe someone that you knew in your past can find your videos, or maybe a family member can find your videos, or maybe anybody that you knew that you don't talk to, or you don't want them to know that you have a channel where you are just expressing yourself. It goes back to not wanting to be seen. So when you start to open up, it doesn't matter if it's on YouTube, doesn't matter where it's at, doesn't matter how you do it, you have to be aware that someone will know at some point, or someday someone will find out, or that's possible. It doesn't mean that it could happen, but you have a possibility that that could happen, and you have to be okay with that. You have to be fully okay with that, because at the end of the day, it's your story, it's your life, it's your way of expressing, and there is nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And it's about accepting yourself as you are, okay? We all have our wounds, and the vulnerability is what, being vulnerable and not being afraid of being vulnerable, is going to change your life. Your vulnerability is a superpower, just like your authenticity. And when you are vulnerable and you allow yourself to be vulnerable, and you show up just as you are with all your vulnerabilities exposed, things start to change, and even for me, I'm not going to say that there are parts of me that still I hide because I don't want to be seen. Yeah, I do that. I still do that. I still hide parts of me that I'm like, when something gets told to me, I close up and I won't say nothing. And I notice that that's me closing up. That's me not allowing my emotions to be seen, and I close myself up, and I do that. But I had someone ask me, that what about when you self-protection? when you know, being authentic, or like being, showing up, or being yourself and letting yourself be seen. You know, what about protection? You have intuitively, you know what you can say, right? And you know how to protect your energy. Intuitively, you know that. You just have to really know yourself in order to know what you can say and when you can say it and to who you can say it. Because not everyone at the end of the day wants to see you succeed, okay? They don't want to see you thrive. They don't want to see you change your life because they can't do it. And that's why I said, when there are people around you that when they see that things start to shift, they're also going to feel inspired to, but it's not the same, you know, because true change comes from your pure authenticity, your pure vulnerability, and your true emotions. You cannot hide them from yourself. You cannot pretend. You cannot think like, if it works like this for someone, it will work like this for me. No, it works the way that when you show up, the way that it shows up clear to you, like out of the whim. There's no planning. There's no like, for example, I don't go on YouTube and I don't go and look and see what people post and be like, let me post something around that same idea because it worked for them. Look, they have like this amount of views, or they you know, these amount of comments, or whatever. No, I sit here and I just talk my story without having to look for anybody else's story or anybody else's ideas. It's just, in order for you to be authentic, you have to just, it has to come from you. It has to come from you. It can't, you can get ideas, but you cannot get stories. You know, you cannot use other stories. You can only use your own. Your truth is your own story. Your truth is what is going to send that signal out into the world, where you're going to magnetize to those people that are out there that need your voice. Because that's another thing that I've noticed since I've been here. Your voice is very important. Your voice has power. Your voice, your story can help someone else. And you might think, because I've thought about this, I thought about this always. Since I've been wanting to be doing YouTube, and it's been like 10 years now that I've been wanting to do YouTube, there are so many times that I was like, what do I have to say? To be like, people probably won't even care what I have to say or what I have to talk about, or they're not going to find me interesting. And it was all because I was seeing myself in the lens that, you know, I've always been seen as, you know, through my parents and through like all of my life. I've always been seen through this very narrow, closed lens, and, you know, like I've said, of like not being worthy. You're not good enough. There's nothing good of you. Like, you're stupid. You're not intelligent. All of the things that I've been told my entire life, right? So when I made my first video and I saw the response that I got, you know, on the third day, I was mind blown, because you guys have allowed me over the past month and a half to see me in ways that I never saw myself before. And you have allowed me to see aspects of me and traits of me that I didn't even know that I had. So it is transformative. It is so transformative. And yeah, I might not have left my environment yet, but that is transforming me, the person. Ooh, I keep hitting my microphone. Yes, it's transforming me, the person, Susie. It's transforming me. It's changing my life. You guys are changing my life because I'm getting opportunities because of you. So it's like, you are able to do this too. You know, you're able to open up and not be afraid of who you are and set yourself free. It is very, very hot. And set yourself free. There's nothing more beautiful than to see your true self and hold space. Because you know what? When I come here and I film and I get emotional and I get in my feelings and I'm talking about stuff, at the same time, I'm holding space for myself here. And I'm allowing myself to be seen, not just by all of you, but also by everything that's around me. Like the tree that's in front of me, and the birds around me, and the iguana. There was a turtle. Like, everyone's hearing me. Everyone's hearing me. And they hold space for me. They hold space for me. Nature holds space for me. And because I am putting so much of my emotions, it is transforming me, and it's sending the signal out to the universe that I am changing my life. Because every time I open my mouth to say something about me, I am transmuting that, I'm alchemizing that, because the power is in alchemizing your pain. And if you can have the courage to talk about your pain and talk about your struggles and talk about the things that made you feel like you were worth nothing all your life, there's nothing more alchemizing than this. This for me has been very transformative. That's why I said that to me, YouTube is not a job. Even though I'm doing this full time, it is not a job for me. It is I love creating videos, and I love expressing myself. And this is my way of alchemizing. YouTube has become alchemy for me, because it's allowing me to transcend my pain. And it's allowing me to be seen in ways that I've never been seen. And it's also allowing me to be a beacon of light, so that you know that you have that power within you too. Don't be afraid of your pain. Your pain leads you to your freedom. It frees you. It changes you. It alchemizes, and it becomes something more beautiful. And that's what I'm doing. I'm turning all of my pain into some form of art. And it's being heard through every stem of grass, every tree, every root of every stem of everything around me. It's being heard. And I'm alchemizing that. I'm turning that density into a new energy that is more uplifting, and it allows me to believe in myself so much more deeper. Because there's nothing more beautiful than expressing your pain and allowing your pain to be seen, so that you can turn it into a form of art and expression, that it can also change someone else's life in some way. And that is powerful. That is powerful. And I say this because so many of you have left me emails, have left me comments that have made me sit and cry, because of how the depth of beauty that there is in how you see me. And I want you to see yourself, because this is possible for you too. The biggest thing that I'm learning in all of this is the alchemizing of my pain. And my pain, I used to see my pain as a very painful, dreadful, sad story of myself. But I think my pain has become the most beautiful part of me, because it's allowed me to unfold in so many ways. It's allowed me to grow in so many ways. It's allowing me to believe in a future I thought that I would never be able to attain. It's allowing me to see myself and believe in myself like I've never had before. And this is also possible for you, and follow your passion. Even if people tell you that the passion doesn't pay. When you do something you love, you open up. You open up, and when you open up, the universe comes full force, and you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. I'm not saying that, what I am right now in my journey on YouTube is, you know, I can't pay my debt or anything like that with it. But that I see a world of possibility out in the open for me, now I do. Now I do, and that I can see myself evolving into being the person that I want to be even more, and seeing myself as someone who is alchemizing her pain and growing from her pain and turning her pain into a form of art, and also helping people along the way. There's nothing greater to me than that. There's nothing more beautiful or powerful to me than that. Because I always wanted to help people in some way. And I didn't know that my own pain would help people, that my own story would help people. So we're all here to help each other at the end of the day. And we can all do that when we let go of being afraid. And you need to know, and this comes more into like your inner circle. There are always going to be people who will take from you, like energetically. You have to learn how to put boundaries to protect yourself, okay? Because when you start transmuting, you start changing, or events that change your life, you start to change as a person, and then people see the change, and then they also subconsciously, they kind of like take from you. You need to protect yourself all the time so that you can remain yourself in a very balanced state where you have boundaries and you move through life with more intention and grace and protectiveness of your energy and who you are being, and who you are becoming. And you protect who you are becoming, because that's what I'm doing. I'm protecting who I am becoming, and I have protected who I became. And maybe I didn't protect it in the way that was the best way, but it was the best way at that time. But now I am protecting myself in a different way, in a higher perspective way, right? Because I am aligning with the person that I am becoming. And that is possible for you too, when you allow yourself to just feel your feelings. Even if it doesn't mean, even if you don't want to do YouTube, you can literally sit in front of a mirror and just talk to yourself and tell yourself, today I feel like this. And I have to hold space and hold on to myself. And you can literally hold on to yourself. There's actually, like, if you put your hands, you cross your hands and you kind of squeeze inward, it feels like someone is giving you a hug, right? And I do that sometimes, and it makes you feel like you're being hugged, but you're hugging yourself, you're holding on to yourself, you're giving space for yourself to feel your feelings. You can do that with yourself without having to let it out into the world if you're not ready yet, or if that's not something you want to do. But talk to yourself openly, not in your mind, but openly. Your words, express what you're feeling to yourself. Sit in the shower, like I do this many times. I sit in the shower and I talk to myself and I tell myself, today I'm feeling like this, and I have these feelings, and I sit with my pain, and I sit with my worry, and I sit with all of my doubts, and I just sit there and I let them, and I feel them, and I cry. And when you cry, that is not weakness. That is not you being lame. That is not you, whatever we were told when we cry. No, when you cry is your body releasing an energy. Okay, it's your body releasing an emotion that's trapped in there and that needed to be released. And tears are a release of energy. Okay, because remember that our bodies is water, and water retains all information, and your emotions all carry information. If you release them when you feel like crying and you go and cry, that's your release. That is your release of that emotion, of that wound that was in your body that needs to be expressed. And if it was meant to come through tears, then let it come through your tears. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no weakness in that. There's just acceptance in yourself. Acceptance is who you are. That's what there is. And like I said, you don't need to do this on YouTube. You can do this in your shower. You can do this in your mirror. You can even do it in your yard. You can go, if you would live in a mountain and you can go out to like the mountain, you wanna scream out to the abyss of your pain and your frustration or whatever you feel, you do that. Whatever is comfortable for you, so you can move. Because every time you move, you shift. Energy moves, energy shifts. Energy moves, energy shifts. Why? Because your emotions are energy in motion. So, I know I talked a lot in this video about a bunch of different things, but I do have a lot of brain fog. I do have a migraine. I showed up with migraine and all. This week was very hard. Like, that airplane. Actually, it's like a jet airplane. This weekend was very hard. Very hard. Like, I was so drained. So drained. I had no energy. I mean, I feel a tiny bit better, but this weekend was hard, and I was also in my emotions a lot. And I cried on Saturday, and then I even cried yesterday. And this weekend has been very, very chaotic. My hormones are very chaotic, and there was a lot of expressing that I did with myself, and also, like, even I had a even yesterday with my sister, there was a point of conversation that we had yesterday that I also got emotionally overwhelmed. So, like, I've been working with my emotions the last few days, and it's funny because for women, what tends to do that a lot is our cycles move us through these phases where there's all your emotions get just come up, and you have to feel them, especially in your cycle phases. And even though men don't have a cycle, you do have hormonal phases, which it works differently than in women, but you also get moments of a lot of emotional things that come up that needs to be released. And we all work through these phases, just at different ways, because men and women navigate them through differently. And I just want you to know to please believe in yourself. Like, I believe in myself now more than ever, that the life that I want to live, I deserve it more than I ever thought I did. Because one thing is that I wanted to have a different life, but another thing is to know that I deserve it, to know that I really deserve that life, to know that I deserve to be me and express myself and to live life the way that I would like to, and no longer be trapped by the things that I was told, And you start to realize that the moment you start to open up, like, wow, you are worthy. You are so worthy. You're so much more worth than you ever imagined. You have so much more worth than you ever imagined. So much more worth. And once you start to see that you're worth, you start to show up in ways for yourself that you would have never shown up for yourself as. And I want you to show up for yourself in whatever way you can possible. It doesn't have to be a huge way. The smallest way. The smallest thing. The smallest step. Show up. Show up for yourself. Believe in yourself. Trust in yourself. Know that there's a world of possibility out there for you. You just got to open up and not be afraid. Not be afraid. And be who you are and be authentic. Don't be like anybody else. Don't grab people's ideas. Don't see what others are doing. No, do what you are called to do. What is moving you to do is what it's like the waves of the ocean, the current, where it takes you. You move through that current. You don't copy the current next to the other current. You just flow with it. You don't copy, like, for example, the ocean won't copy the way the lake is moving, You just move as you, through you, as you, 1,000%. In your pure authenticity, you move as you. Your ideas, your feelings, your emotions are yours. And only you know how to express them in a way that is right for you. So be you as you, fully, without fear. And It will help you even find yourself in ways you never knew that you can find yourself, and understand yourself in deeper ways you never thought you would understand yourself. And it will guide you. It will guide you like the stars at night, okay? It will guide you. You just need to believe in something greater for yourself and in yourself, and not be afraid of your pain. Your pain is your transformation. Your pain is what you alchemize. It's what you overcome. It's what you bring. You bring love to your pain, and your pain will open up for you, and it will start to change your life, because your pain has power. It's your story. Your pain has a story, and that story is waiting to be alchemized, is waiting to be seen, and is waiting to be loved and understood, so that you can transcend it and now create a new way, a new story, your story. Not the story that you were told, or you were told to believe. Not the story that exists, that that society believes in blindly, okay? Not the story that you have to bust your butt, in a job for 40 hours a week, or not even 40 hours a week anymore, but like 40 plus hours a week. No. There are so many opportunities for so many of us, and it does not have to be the old ways anymore. It doesn't have to be in the old ways anymore. We just need to show up with our pain and stop living in a box. And we need to start expressing ourselves in the ways that you never thought you would. And even if it starts with just you, in a shower, in the bathtub, in a backyard, in a corner of your room, talk to yourself out loud. You know what I do? I'm gonna end this video with that. You know what I do? Right before I started YouTube, like in April, I started to write down everything. And mind you, I got this from Michael Jackson, how he would put Post-its everywhere of like everything that he would ideas or whatever. But I started to make it my own, because not only was I posting ideas on my Post-its on my mirror, but I was affirming and doing things in present time, and I would write like this and this and this is not going to happen anymore. Post it. So I would do affirmations. I would do things that I was determined that I was going to do and achieve, things that I didn't want to happen. Like there was an example, my poodle, back in April, she loves catching little lizards, and she caught a lizard, and I got it out of, I took it from her, and she injured the lizard's leg. And I remember I took the lizard and I put the lizard inside a pot of a plant so that she couldn't have access to it. And I went inside, okay, and I wrote on a piece of paper, on the Post-it, I put, Leela injured a lizard. The lizard's leg is now healed. The lizard's leg is healed. And I posted it on my mirror. So I do things like that. But I've noticed that since I've been doing that, a lot of things have changed. Like there's been some aspects of those things that have actually materialized. Okay? First of all, I never found the lizard again. So the lizard had to walk, because I never found the lizard again. I left it in a place where I can go check on it. The lizard wasn't there anymore. So I have a lot of Post-its everywhere on my window, like on my mirror in my room. And one of them is, I am not my father. I am not my mother. That's another one, another Post-it that I have on my mirror. So start writing little Post-its and put them everywhere. That's just an idea of things that you affirm you're not, of things that you want, you want to happen, like I want the lizard's leg to have healed, of manifestations, affirmations, things that you want, you envision, ideas and stuff. Just post it on your mirror. So yeah, thank you so much for being here and for watching this video. I know that I went through a lot of topics. My brain fog is pretty bad today, and so is my migraine is really bad. I feel a little bit like foggy. So I am going to now drive back to my house and cool off, edit the video. And yeah, please, 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 please start to really believe in yourself and show up for yourself. Possibilities are there for you. Believe me, they are there for you, because I believe me. Okay, I promise you that within a year from now, you're gonna see my life has completely transformed, because I have believed in myself so much that it is going to transform. And for all I know, I probably might be even living in another state a year from now, and you're gonna see my transformation. I'm gonna take you with me. I'm already doing that right now. Okay, I'm doing that right now, and I believe in that. Right, I believe in it so much, and I believe in it now, and I believe in it tomorrow, and I'm gonna believe in it every day. Okay, because this is the way I'm alchemizing my pain. This is the way I am transforming my life, and that is what YouTube has become for me. Okay, it's become an art form of transformation, and I want you to know that everything is possible for you too. And I may not see how it is unfolding, okay? I don't know how it's unfolding in the time that is moving in the future, but in this present time, I know that it is. I just don't know how it's coming to me, but I know that it is. It is. Because little things here and there have happened to me since I started this channel that has really made me really see that transformation, and the life that I deserve is there. And I'm moving towards it, and I'm opening all the windows, and I'm going through it. So please believe in yourself. Don't be afraid of being you. Speak your truth, pain and all. Your pain is what's going to free you, because you're turning that pain into a form of art and transmuting that into a form of love, and that is going to inspire other people. Your voice is powerful. Please use it. However you can, say your story. Share your love with someone. Be kind to someone. That will make a huge difference in life, and it will ripple like the ocean. You drop a drop on the ocean and it ripples. That is what we are. We are that drop in the ocean, and it just takes one of us to just cause that ripple, so that the ripple can have an effect. And then another person will cause another ripple, and the ripple will just keep flowing. We are that drop in the ocean. So we just need to show up. Thank you so much for being here. And I will see you really soon.